All right, so part two, we're gonna go over the upper extremity muscles. I took the model off of the stand because it makes it easier to point things out, kind of makes it easier to identify too. You guys are more than welcome to do this during the tests and during the practical. If it makes things easier for you, then absolutely go for it. So first things first, start off with the deltoid muscle. It's the big shoulder cap right here, which we're actually going to take off so we can see the rest of the muscles behind it. So next we've got our rotator cuff muscles, our sits muscles, starting with the supraspinatus up here at the top of the scapula at number 6. This whole muscle right here, followed by our infraspinatus, number 7, followed by our teres minor at 8. And the last muscle is our subscapularis at number 5, this muscle here. So teres major is not a part of the rotator cuff, but important to note, and that is number 9 right here. Again, teres major is not a part of the rotator cuff, teres minor is. Moving on to the triceps, we've got our triceps brachii, which remember has 3 heads, and that's gonna be on the other side here. So our lateral head is gonna be number 16. If I can get this to stay still here. Number 16, this is our lateral head of the tricep. Number 17 is going to be our long head of the tricep. If it'll stay, there we go. 17 here, and 18 is our medial head of the tricep, and that's this one farther down. So 3 heads of the tricep. Got the biceps brachii, which also has multiple heads, but this time only 2. Remember, the biceps brachii is the superficial muscle, where the brachialis is the deep muscle. So 11 right here is our biceps brachii, with number 12 right here is the long head. Remember, long being determined by the length of the tendon, 13 being the short head right here. All right, next we got the coracobrachialis, which is number 15, which is this muscle right here. And then deep to our biceps brachii, to take that piece off, is going to be our brachialis, which is number 14, this whole fat muscle right here. There's the number. There's the number 14, that whole thing right here. Perfect. Next, we're going to go on to our forearm muscles, which, if you guys like as much as I do, you're thrilled. Starting with our pronator teres at number 22, this muscle right here. Remember, this is also a left hand, so if you're following along, that is going to be when you're supinated. This is going to be the muscle on top here, just below your elbow. So 22 right there is our pronator teres. Next we've got our flexor carpi radialis at number 23. And then we've got our palmaris longus at 24. The following muscle there. Hard to move, is going to stand. And we've got our flexor carpi ulnaris at 25, which is the next muscle in line right here. So then moving on to the more deep muscles, we have our flexor digitorum superficialis at 26, which gets cut off a little bit because it's a big muscle that would cover the rest of this. So part of it was removed, if you can see from the little insert there, so that we can see the rest of this. But 26 right here is going to be our flexor digitorum superficialis, where our flexor digitorum profundus is going to be 27, the muscle just deep to that, this one right here. Then we've got the flexor pollicis longus is number 28. That's this bad boy right here. And then we've got our pronator quadratus at 29. Is going to be this little tiny muscle over here in the corner. Alrighty, then we've got the brachioradialis, number 19. Is this one here on the side. And remember, the brachioradialis, get this to stay, there we go. Brachioradialis is going to be the separator between our flexor muscles on the more anterior side and our extensor muscles here on the posterior side. So 19 right here is our brachioradialis. It's a good landmark to find, especially with the cadaver, when you're trying to identify which muscle is which. That's a good anatomical reference point to know. So then we've got our extensor carpi radialis longus at number 20 right here. And 21 is our extensor carpi radialis brevis. Remember, again, longus and brevis determined by the length of the tendon. So number 20, if this will focus, there we go. Number 20 is our extensor carpi radialis longus, because this tendon extends farther up than our extensor carpi radialis brevis, number 21 right here. So the longer tendon means it's the longest, the shorter tendon is the brevis. Then you've got the extensor digitorum at number 30 right here. followed by the extensor digitorum minimi at number 31. This is not a muscle you're gonna have to know, but it is numbered, so just be aware of it so that it doesn't throw you off when you're taking your lab practical here. All right, extensor carpi ulnaris at 32, right here. And then your anconius muscle, 33 here in the corner. So the deep muscles on the posterior side of our forearm, we have our supinator at 34, is this muscle right here. We've got our abductor pollicis longus at 35. This is that whole band right here. We've got our extensor pollicis longus at 36, which is this muscle right there. And then lastly, we've got our abductor pollicis brevis at 41. And that one is a sneaky one. That one is all the way up here on the more anterior side of the thumb there. So again, when you guys are taking your lab practicals, feel free to take these apart. I mean, I had to take multiple pieces off just to show you guys these. So it makes it way easier than, you know, having it propped up like this on the stand. So whatever helps, go for it.